Hi everyone, this is a follow-up video to how to program your Valentine One, best for Australia, New Zealand and even US and Europe. Following on from the first video we did, which encouraged the use of Euro mode, but this was specifically for Western Australia. So to program your Valentine One, first to enter programming mode, you push the main button in while turning it on and still holding the button pushed in for about 5 seconds. Like so. Now that the lights are on, it shows that we're in programming mode. So to advance through each of the steps, you see I've printed them off the Valentine website here, the notes. To advance through from 1 to 8 and from A to U, you basically do a short press on this button. A long press will change the setting and a short press will advance you through to the next one. Now our first press that's showing the software version, in this instance it's 3.864. This tells you what version software is loaded up on your Valentine. So to get into the first one, another short press, and it's showing number 1, which denotes X band on or off. Now in Australia and New Zealand they don't use X band, so you can safely turn it off. Most states in the US don't use X band either. So just check, I think there's 2 or 3 from memory in the States that still use X band, which you might want to leave on. But otherwise, to turn X band off, you notice that the arrow is pointing up by default. Looking at the notes here, it shows that arrow up indicates X band is on. So the default setting from the factory is X band turned on. So we're going to turn that off by just, as I said, push and hold it for a few seconds. The arrow then points down. This now indicates that we have turned X band off. So arrow up would have been X band on. We've now toggled to arrow down, which is X band off. So a short press goes through to number 2. Number 2, referring to the notes again, is K band. So in Australia and New Zealand you can leave K band on. New Zealand police all but got rid of K band, but they've actually come back in the last 12 months in New Zealand as well. So K-band is used pretty much every state in Australia and is now being used in New Zealand again, so you're going to turn that back on. Obviously widely used in the States and also through Europe, so it's a pretty safe bet to turn K-band on. Now that being said, for Western Australia only users, you can make the decision whether you want to turn K-band off when driving through the city and just have it on when you're driving highway, out in the open highway or freeways. But just don't forget to turn it back on when you do those long trips. But pretty much for Western Australia users, there's the only K-band radar sources are on dash-mounted radar, highway patrol and unmarked cars. So they don't tend to use that too much during the city. It's mainly laser and multinova speed cameras in the cities. So we're going to leave K-band on. Short press goes up to number 3, and again looking at the notes, number 3 refers to KA band. The default setting is A band turned on, and you're pretty much going to leave that on for no matter where you are, because everywhere just about uses K band. Short press number 4 is laser, and again the default setting, arrow up, is laser on. We're going to leave it laser turned on. Another short press, option number 5. Now this allows you to adjust the response of the signal strength meter, which is this one down here, for KA band only. Now the actual sensitivity of the radar detector isn't changed with this setting, it's just how responsive this ramp up or signal strength meter is. So I personally like to change it from the factory to setting to put it as more. That's just me, because I like the signal strength meter to ramp up faster with the multinovas in Western Australia, because there's such a low powered signal. You really want to jump on top of that reading, so that's why I put it to more responsive. It's a personal choice. Short press number 6. Now KA band guard on or off. In Western Australia I would recommend having it off. In New Zealand I would probably have it off as well. You don't tend to have too many false signals generated from other radar detectors in Australia and New Zealand. In the States, the general consensus is to have it on, which obviously arrow up, the default setting is the KA guard turned on. This is, well, in the forums they talk about the J, which is the junking out of false signals. Other radar detectors, especially Cobras and the like, leak a lot of signals, a lot of noise back out there, and other radar detectors such as the Valentine can interpret those signals as a false radar source. So by having KA guard on, you can junk out these false signals from other radar detectors. Personal choice really. If you're getting lots of false alarms on KA bands, you might want to turn this on, which is default setting is on anyway. Again, for Western Australia, and my personal opinion is to have the guard turned off. Completely up to you. Okay, number 7 basically goes through to some advanced features which don't tend to get talked about too much, both on the Valentine website or on other radar forums and such, but we definitely want to turn these on. So again, a long press to toggle from arrow up to arrow down, which now means the features through B and G are enabled. Last one in the numbers here, number 8, is our volume control is set by the lever or set by this secondary volume control. One thing I love about the Valentine is you've basically got 2 volume controls. You've got the main knob here, which is our main volume of the unit, but this slider behind it can act as a secondary volume control, and we can use that to have the signals, the muted K-band signals a lot less than full volume, which I will come back to shortly. So we just leave that at the default. Short press A, and again we're going to leave this one default to arrow up. It's saying that the volume is set by the control knob, not by the control lever. So over the page on our notes, now we get B through G, which we enabled back on the previous page on number 7. Now, going off the notes here, let me get that in the shot, you can see based on your software version number what these arrows correspond to in the relative times. Now, because this is a latest model version, we're just going to be looking at the very end column. Now, because the Valentine is quite unique in its ability to deal with K-band false alarms, which you get a lot of in most areas, caused by automatic opening doors that use microwave-based sensors to sense people walking up to the doors. We showed that in another video. Are these little things here? That is a K-band transmitter that is connected to the door on this shop. Basically what the Valentine can let you do is when it first detects a signal on K-band, if it's a very weak signal, it won't actually alert at full volume. It will only alert you at a softer volume, which is governed by this secondary volume slider. So basically, short answer is we can have the slider on to very minimal, have the normal volume on full. When the Valentine first detects a signal, it's going to, a K-band, signal. It's not KA, not laser, it's just K-band. When it first detects a weak K-band signal, it will only come on this quieter volume. So it will only jump to the full volume if either the signal strength exceeds a certain level, which we will set in a second, or it's actually been detecting that signal for a predetermined amount of time. So if you're driving through the city and you go past a microwave-based door opener and it's not a very strong, or you're not too close to it, you can actually drive right past it with the thing not even going into full alarm. Here's an example of the Valentine's unique muting feature for K-band. We're approaching a false K-band signal ahead. You can see the Valentine has detected it. It is showing us with the front arrow, but is not beeping at the full volume. It would only beep if it exceeded a certain threshold. Now you can see it's in the rear antenna that's detecting that same signal, and it hasn't gone into full alarm. So my personal one is to set this to 30 seconds, which referring to the notes, B is down, C is up, D is up. So B, we want to have arrow down, we leave C up, we leave D up. And looking at the notes, down, up, up for BCD is our 30-second. Now that's our maximum we can have. So what that means is, if you're driving out in the open and it's detecting a weak signal, it has to detect that signal for 30 seconds before it will jump into the full volume and alert you. So you can just filter out those weak K signals caused by automatic opening doors. Short press, we go through to E. Now this is, so that on one hand we had the time delay, and this is the actual signal strength delay for the K-band muting. So we're going to leave this at, we're going to change this